agent to protect for our seniors, and then begin to develop the right project. I will present you a plan for that project, and we'll talk more about that later. Thank you.
Mayor.
We'll play that bill once.
Yes. Petition has been circulated to hold a referendum for legal sales of alcohol in Coleman County. Do you think approval would have a positive or negative impact on West Point? And would legal sales in West Point be beneficial or not?
I appreciate that too, and I appreciate you being the first down block on that. The bottom line is this, whether you agree or disagree with what went on in Coleman, North Hansville, and Corey's about to give him some of this too, it's the will of the people that you have to respect. Okay, if the process, and that goes back to understanding government, if the people submit that petition, and those petitions go through the process and are validated, then you don't have a choice but to put it on the ballot. If you really do understand government and are complying with the law, you don't have a choice. And in the will of the people. Does it open up some opportunities? Sure. Would it be beneficial to the town of West Point? I can't see it. You know, I really can't. I believe in letting the people vote and decide. I will tell the city of Coleman this, though I think that they were very responsible in the way that they drafted their ordinance to keep it from looking so much with the beer joints and the strip joints and the signs, and I appreciate them taking it that serious. And it does open up some avenues. Your personal choice of whether you for or against alcohol, you know, that's between you and the relationship that each one of us have with the good Lord, because we can stand up here, we can be critical, we can speculate, we can argue, but at the end of our lives, it's how we've lived our lives, and we answer to the Lord. We can't fool anybody else. Okay? So I just say let the people vote. Hope we have the right people in office to manage responsibly, to allow those that do to drink in a responsible way, and if we prosper because of the revenues, then put it right back in where it goes. Thank you.
I apologize. The alcohol issue is really a tough issue in Coleman County because of, like you said, the difference of opinion with people. I've really been pleased with the way they have controlled it. I don't think it's going to be an issue in the county, or at least over the next several years. I don't think it'll come to a vote. And if it does, if it comes to a vote, and it should be voted wet, countywide, I don't even really see how that's even going to affect West Point. But if it does, then we would want to have people in there that would make sure, like he said, that's what scares me about the alcohol thing, is all these Queen of Clubs or whatever running down the highway and four-wheel drives this high, leaving the highway at 2 a.m. acting like something crazy. So, but if it comes, what we will all have to do is work together to make sure it's done in a professional, orderly, Christian manner. That's all I have.
The alcohol sales, like I said, is kind of a little soft area. The people vote on it. They can bring a petition to vote on it. Me personally, I vote no against it. I have a very strong emotion towards alcohol, and I'm not a fan of it. I've seen what it can do to families. It's not my decision on if it's here or not, and it's not my decision if someone consumes it or not. I can't control that. But if I am brought in, I can bring ordinances to solve minimal issue to the public with it. Like I said, you can't stop alcohol. There's nothing you can do about it. Thank you.
Getting with you, Mr. Gray. What do you think the Coleman Area Chamber of Commerce can do to help you make this place a better place to live and do business?
Good question. The Chamber of Commerce can help us by putting us out. You asked me.
I'm asking where
You can put West Point on the map through your booklets in the city and in the county through the chamber. I don't know how active West Point works with the Chamber of Commerce at this time. We work with it well. When you do that, well then, you know, when people come, if people are interested in moving into Coleman County, and they say, well, you know, we're up here looking, well, you take Smith Lake, for example. Down on Lewis Smith Lake, I had people that would retire and move down on the lake because they drove through here and someone told them about Smith Lake. We like the Chamber of Commerce to tell them about West Point. If you're looking for acreage, there's probably acreage you can find, and you're not in the real estate business. But still, there are opportunities for the chamber to give us more exposure, and for them to give us more exposure. Personally, I think we need to be more involved with them. Like I say, maybe we're more involved than I realize. I have not been active in the city, and I apologize. And that's the reason I'm willing, whether I go in as mayor or not. If I don't go in as mayor, they may get tired of seeing me at the town council. Because I think that we need to contribute to the city, all of us. And you know, nobody can read your mind. Let people know what you think in a loving way, and then support the entire community and go from there. Thank you.
I think the Chamber of Commerce, like Mr. Drain said, is a great thing. When I moved here, it wasn't because the Chamber of Commerce suggested it. I moved here to experience it. And if we can get in with the Chamber of Commerce, we can expand the town. We expand the town, we move people into the town, our census goes up, brings more money to the town, and more people because people are leaving cities, moving to suburbs in the country. And if we're not a member of the commerce, they're not going to know how great West Point is. When I talk to people in Florida, I express to them how great this place is. I can't tell them enough. They've never experienced nothing like it. And it's the truth. The people here are so different. You can wave at somebody driving down the road here. And people in cities and other places, they've never experienced that. Just something that simple. The commerce has many benefits. It can bring towns together. It can have opinions. You get together and find out what's going on in other communities. What we think we might need to do. And the town as a whole is a great thing. And Chamber of Commerce can put it out there for the world to know that. Thank you.
Chamber of Commerce is a wonderful organization, and we've got a great interim president back there. She looks a lot better than Kirk Mancher did. Kirk was the past president of the Chamber, and Kirk was a rising star in the Chamber of Commerce. He's now the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Shelby County. But should West Point be involved in the Chamber of Commerce? Yeah, we should. Are we? Sammy and some of us, I've been on the board of directors for 3 years for the Chamber of Commerce, okay? I've been right now and still serve with Jay and with Leah on the Government's Chamber Affairs, or the Government Affairs Committee for the Coleman Area Chamber of Commerce. I talked with Congressman Robert Adderhold a few years ago, and he didn't realize he had a Civil War battlefield right here in his community, okay? And I got with the Chamber at that time and said, we'd like to have the Chamber has several committees. I can give you an in-depth briefing on the Chamber if you like it. Okay, I really can. The Chamber has several committees. One of them is tourism. And I had asked them, Kirk, before he left, to come out and bring that Chamber Tourism Committee to take a tour of the Crooked Creek Civil War Museum down here. Okay? And that's one part that the Chamber does, and I think Jay knows and Leah does. They have this community and they take tours around the area, elected officials, Chamber members, and if you're not a Chamber member as an individual or a business, Leah's at $108 a year for just a regular, I ain't gonna hold you anything, is that close? Okay, so yeah, I know a little bit about the Chamber. And what I'd like to see the Chamber do is to get the Tourism Committee more actively involved to go out here into this community and even deeper to where they can go back, because we do have ads in all their magazines, okay? So we are an active participant. Most of the community knows that. So that comes back again from the community involvement and just knowing what's going on. I support the Chamber 120%, and will continue to do so. They're good for this community. They're good for every community in Coleman County. Thank you.
Mr. Hall, you'll be next up. And the question is, what are your plans to develop retail businesses and residential growth in West Point?
Retail businesses. I think small businesses is great. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 21 years old. And that's the American dream, to own your own business. Mr. Strickland, the owner of the Brandon Iron, he owns his own business. He chuckles about it, but he still loves it. Small businesses is it's what we need in this town. I don't think industry is good. Small businesses, great. Because it's more one-on-one. You can know the owner, they'll know their customers. And as far as residents go, we need to expand the town. The town goes this way, that way, and nobody knows if they're in the town or if they're not in the town. And it needs to be more defined, expanded, and with the chamber's help, bringing in more tourists and bringing people in. And when our new ball field is completed on the 80 acres, that'll just be another great park that'll help Coleman County, which already has great parks, and number one in the nation, I believe. And there's no reason that people won't want to move here. If we're the best and we have the best, and with the people that's in this community, people will want to live here. And I'm proof of that. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Jay, who had that question? Would you repeat it, please? I'm sorry.
It was actually a one-sentence question. What are your plans to develop retail businesses and residential growth in West Point?
Well, like I told you earlier, we say you got to have a land and you got to have a plan. And I agree with Mike and Sonny that we don't want to make this, we don't want an industrial park or anything out here. I have people come to me every day, like I said, I'm involved in the chamber. In my role with the North Central Alabama Regional Council of Governments, I'm also primarily responsible for economic development for Coleman, Morgan, and Lawrence counties. So y'all know a little bit about it. We've got businesses right now that if I could get the right tract of property open right here on Highway 157, we could have break ground in a couple of weeks. But you do have to have the right community, the right school. I finished school here. My daughter's sitting right there. She's an 11th grader over here. I could send her anywhere else. We come from Europe to come home and stay. And so, yeah, we want to bring some things out here. On the 157 corridor, I was raising a chicken farm right down here. Okay, I don't want to change anything here. We capitalize here. Brian Strickland can tell you too that I am involved in economic development throughout 3 counties. Don't want to get into his business, but he's got some people excited on the eastern side of Coleman County, and he should, because he's got a really good business here. And we're working with him to help promote that. And I'm happy about that. And yeah, we get the right amount of land. We can put what this community wants out there. So this make it better. I've been approached about a grocery store. I have somebody that would be willing to come. Okay. I've been approached about a doctor's office. Several things. You don't just start speculation. You talk to these people, just like with Jack Cornett. Jack Cornett and I just met and drank coffee for 3 years, and he decided to do that. That's how you build relationships, and it's how you build this community. Thank you.
One thing that bothers me a little bit about our Sweetland community and the county itself is so many of our young people, like my children, graduate from college and go off to work somewhere else because opportunities weren't here. Whether it's in West Point, in the city limits of West Point and surrounding areas, the next 4 years I will personally work to get industry into Coleman County. And I can talk. I've been kind of lost for words tonight because I felt like I was kind of a lost ball in high weeds with this stuff, But when I get focused and get on track and see where we are and what needs to be done, I will work with the Chamber of Commerce, not just in the city of Coleman, but throughout Coleman County, to continue to build Coleman County and make it attractive. It's already attractive to people. And again, I'd like to see us expand the city limits. Even if industry comes over in Jones Chapel and they employ 1,400 people, I'll vote for that. You know, but what I'm saying is, we'll all have to continue to work with the chamber, with the other incorporated areas, not in competition with, but work with. I'm real big on working with, not against anyone. And during this 4-year period, I will do the best I can to work with the entire county, including start in their city and work our way out. The city of Coleman, Good Hope, Hansville, Baileyton, whatever, you know, and then we'll go from there with it. If I'm elected, you're mayor, you come to me with ideas, and I'll share it with the chamber or whatever. Thank you.
I think you read my notes. The last question I had was, we often hear that young people are the future of any community. And I want to know what you would do to attract more young families to West Point, and how would you make West Point more attractive to retain those young people? Would it be through the arts, through culture, through business development? I'll just let you elaborate. Mayor, if you'll go with that.
There's a lot of you in here that remember the first time you had a television set, okay? And I remember for a lot of years it was 6 and 13, and then 42 came in, and the remote control for Daddy was me, okay? And you know where we're at right now, okay? I go back to the broadband, and I'm working with Lawrence County right now. We're putting a water project together that's going to bring about 150 jobs into Lawrence County through my role with NARCOG to attract people there. And the questions, and you talk about, and it's for the chamber, it's for the community, it's for everybody. If you are a business of any kind and you come into a community, and I'm going to relate this to young people too, you used to ask 3 questions. What about the cost and the availability of your water, your power, and your sewer? But now, in the 21st century, and where we're at, it's a 4-tiered question that they ask: water, power, sewer, and broadband access, okay? You've got, in Lawrence County, 35,000 people, 20,000 people are unserved or underserved with broadband. Our education system now is broadband based, okay? The reality of it is, if we don't address that first in the rural areas, then we're not going to attract anybody, and especially young people. I've got a meeting on September 18th. I met today with former Alabama Agricultural Commissioner Ron Sparks, and we're having a meeting of all Coleman and Lawrence County mayors and county commissioners on the 18th of September in Coleman to address this. It is a priority. We've built a coalition throughout the state. We're already about to break ground in Lawrence County. We're mapping that lake area and West Point now. So that is the technology challenge, the infrastructure challenge for government and business of the 21st century. Thank you.
The way we bring young people into the community is through, like we were talking about earlier, the warm-heartedness, being a friendly town, like on the Andy Griffith show, they were a friendly town. We are. West Point is friendly. They reach out, we take care of each other, and that's really important as far as encouraging other people to come in. I know several people from up north that have moved into Coleman County. Now, and I had some of them while I was in the insurance business moved into the West Point area. But they moved down here, some of them even traveling through, and they stopped and they maybe even came over here. And when people checked out after they had dinner, they told them, "Thank you, God bless you, or have a good day." I said, "Yeah, no problem." You know, that's and we don't need that no problem. We need to be polite and courteous and show people that we have a lot to offer for our children. We have Lewis Smith Lake. Our ballpark, we need to really work on in the future. And you know, that's not something to do overnight. Let's work toward improving what we have and then build on that, make it bigger and better, and where people want to have their children here, know that they can play ball, know that they can go to the lake. But we have a golf course, we have cherry pines up here, not in the city limits of Coleman, still a golf course that's 5 minutes away. We have our tennis courts over here. I'm really thankful that we have those things to offer our young people. But the main thing is a safe place for them to grow up. And a safe place for young adults to raise their children. We moved here to raise our children here. I want to raise my children in the country because I grew up by the Birmingham airport. And it's a whole lot more fun for children here than it was to slip in an airport and fly an airplane. And I promise that my safety.
Bringing young people to Coleman. Well, it brought me, but not everybody's like me. If we make our ball fields better, and we can utilize the assets that we have and make them desirable, that's just important. People will want to come. If it's growed up, if there's issues in it, nobody's going to want to come here. We got to make West Point and what we have a beautiful place, and people will want to come. If we got it to offer them, it's going to come. Broadband. I mean, internet's fine, but I got high-speed internet. It's not that big a deal. The schools have high-speed internet. I'm not in Lawrence County. I'm talking about West Point, Alabama. And that is there's just so much that is to offer in West Point. We have a great school. It's 5A. We need more kids in our 5A school for sporting events. So we can there's just so much. We have the tennis courts. There's other assets that can be brought. We can have racquetball, a YMCA. We don't have to grow massive and become a big, huge town like Birmingham or Huntsville, but we can have small things that are desirable. And if we can bring in people, it's going to bring in young people. My church is reproducing like there's no tomorrow. And the more people we get here, we will have young people here. We just need things to keep the young people active while they're here. Thank you.
Gentlemen, it's time for our closing statements. You'll have 2 minutes apiece. We drew earlier to see who would go first. Mr. Hall will do first, followed by Mayor Kilgo, and finished by Mr. Gray.
Closing statements. Well, thank you all for allowing me to talk to you tonight. I'm dedicated to the town of West Point. I've done a lot to help this community and the people in it, and I plan on focusing on West Point. Apparently NARCOG is part of it, but I'm not here to be a big-time senator or a district representative, or I don't want to go any further in politics. I just want what's best for this town. That's why I moved here. And I believe that if the more time we can spend in this town, focus on this town's projects and these town's issues, is going to make the town better. That's really just all of it in a nutshell. We need to spend time in the community. We need to spend time with our council and focus on our issues, and that's get us where we got to get. Thank you.
I'm asking you for 4 more years to continue what we started. And like I said, I do have the education experience and the understanding. And Mike made a point to it, and we talked about understanding what NARCOG, the community of West Point belongs to NARCOG. And we've heard a lot of talk about reaching out to other communities. That's what NARCOG does. And this senior center down here is funded through NARCOG and then supported by people like Wayne and Gil, Ben and Pat, everybody that's ever delivered a meal. Okay, so that is the community. That is what it's about. As far as Michael's comment about the broadband, if your school is broadband internet based and you live at Crane Hill and you don't have internet access at home, your child is getting behind. The numbers, the socioeconomic status proves that, so that is a priority. But it is about community. It is about doing what's best for this entire community. That's We have a record with this council here, prudent fiscal responsibility, made improvements for this community. We also have a vision for the future. As you go out through the next week, and I'm going to continue coming to your houses and talking to you, and I'm going to offer you things about what we do and where we go. If you've got an issue with something, have a solution. That's what I try to do. I love representing this hometown of West Point. Like I said, I was born and raised here, come back here, live the rest of my life here. Love the community. Thank the Lord to be living here. Wish everybody well. We're open all the time. I work day and night at this town hall. Some of the seniors can tell you they see me come in all hours of the day. We'll continue to work that hard, and we'll continue to have positive results. It makes everybody proud. And I'm proud to be here and proud to be part of this community. Thank you, everyone.
Again, I'm not a politician. I was a businessman for 31 years, and I do know the difference in right and wrong and profit and loss. And I'll do everything, and I'll support either one of these guys. If they're whichever one's elected mayor, they probably won't get tired of seeing me because I'm going to be in their face. I'm going to help them, and I expect if the city decides that they want me to be their leader for the next 4 years, I expect them to be in my face. I want, especially, I want the present mayor's help because he can bring me up to date on where we are. If you don't want me, just don't vote for me. If you do, tell your neighbors. And if you don't, tell them. If you don't want me, don't tell your neighbors. And but over the next 4 years, God willing, if I am elected your mayor, I will help bring. And I'm not saying we're a divided community, but I'm saying we need to be a one family community. I want us to be family like a church family. We're a community family. I don't have blood kin here. Both my children, because they couldn't find jobs here, one's in San Antonio and one's in Louisville, Kentucky. But I do have family here. And I promise you this, that anytime you need my help, you call me, and I'll help you any way I can. And I'll promise you this, if I need your help, I'll call you, and I'll expect you to be there. So, if it comes to that, we'll know next Wednesday, and after that, then we'll move on from there.
Gentlemen, thank you for your candor and honesty and for your opinions. Let's give them a round of applause.